Hi there, my name is Erin, and this video is brought to you by the Abundant Yoga community. Today, we are going to take a closer look at Crescent Lunge pose. So Crescent Lunge can sometimes be referred to as a high lunge pose, or in Sanskrit, Anjaneyasana. In this video, I'll show some different variations of the pose and discuss what the different variations might target in the body. And we'll look at potentially how props can be used with the pose. First though, let's talk about benefits of the pose. Crescent Lunge, or Anjaneyasana, is excellent at strengthening our leg muscles, particularly looking at quad muscles and calf muscles. It's also excellent for strengthening our glute muscles and the muscles around our core. This pose can give us a lot of stretch through our hips and our psoas and through our chest. Because we're not on two flat feet, it can also really help improve our balance, even though it's not usually listed as a balance pose. On the energetic side of it, it's a really strong pose, so that can help boost our energy. And like so many yoga poses, one of the biggest benefits is a reduction in stress. So let's take a look at Anjaneyasana. Anjaneyasana is very often a pose that we get into from downward facing dog with a step forward. So our feet we have a long distance between front and back foot, and both feet are separate from the midline of the mat. Typically here, we have arms up. So here is a little bit more standard variation of Crescent Lunge pose. But like all poses, we have a lot of different variations, which I'll talk about as we break down the pose. So now from this side, sometimes Crescent Lunge we get into just with a simple step back. So if you step 1 foot forward from downward facing dog, or step 1 foot back from feet together at the top of your mat, either way's fine. You'll see both happening in class. In this pose, hips are going to be forward. Sometimes when we have a leg back, it can happen that our hip on that side opens up, and we don't want that. We want hips facing forward. Our front leg, we want our knee stacked over our ankle. So when we have front knee stacked over our front ankle and hips facing forward, the next piece is our back leg. Straight is lovely, but you know what? A bend is great too. So do what works for you in your back leg, and you might find that that's different on any given day. In our back foot, some people will cue to stretch here and put your heel down toward the mat. What that's going to do is that's going to give you a nice stretch through your calf muscle. I like coming up on the ball of my foot with my heel and the rest of my foot almost perpendicular to the mat, so that I get a stretch through the bottom of my foot. I'm going to change sides. So, front knee over front ankle, hips face forward, back leg however feels right today, back foot. Figure out, what am I trying to target? Do I want to stretch the back of my foot, then come up on the ball? Do I want to stretch through my calf, then reach your heel down? The next piece is low back. It's really common for people to do this, to dump into their low back and be really open through our core. What we want to do is point our low back, our tailbone down, and then sink lower. When you do that, you're gonna feel a big stretch through your hip flexor of your leg that's extended back. Now, you might think, okay, well, how do I do that? How do I know if I'm doing that if there aren't mirrors? There's a trick. So, when you come into your lunge, you can put middle fingers on your hip bones, your hip points, and thumbs on your low ribs. Then here, pinch and bring them together. So you can see I'm going open and bringing them closer. Open and bringing them closer. So you want them nice and close. Keep them there so your stomach is nice and engaged. Belly button, sides and back, everything pulling in the service of lifting up with a strong midsection. When we lift up in Crescent Lunge, people can feel really powerful and get that lift like this, but we don't want our shoulders canoodling with our ears. So shoulders drop down, back and down, hips face forward. Now, there were some different variations there. In our back foot, there's also different variations that can come to our arms. Typically, arms might be up in a warrior lunge, a crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, high lunge, all the same thing. But we also might want a variation where we're opening our chest and pulling down. If you have a day that you're feeling a little tight, this is a great spot for a strap. Your hands can hold a strap and pull apart. Another thing that we can do that's a great variation is dropping our back knee. So what this does is it shifts our body's focus. When we are up here, we're working a little bit more on balance. So if you know that you are trying to get better at balance, this is a great variation. This is also a variation that really works on strengthening our quad muscles in the front leg. However, if you know that the body that you're bringing to the mat on any given day is really tight through your hip flexors, dropping your back knee and releasing your back foot, arms up, arms down, arms back. This is an excellent variation of Crescent Lunge because this helps open and stretch your hip flexor. Now, just like we were talking about before, it's common to come here and dump into your low back. We want to have a lower distance between our hip points and our low ribs. So here, and then squeeze in. You'll feel your hip flexor stretch, then lower. Arms up. So those are a few variations, things that you can play with Anjaneyasana. And thank you for watching this video on Crescent Lunge pose. This video was brought to you by the Abundant Yoga Community. This is a nonprofit in western Wisconsin and eastern Minnesota in the St. Croix Valley region. And our mission is to make yoga more accessible to those who might not have access to commercial yoga studios due to financial and or geographic constraints. If you feel compelled at all to donate to help our cause, please click on the link below in the video description to do so.